My name's Chris Walsh, and I live in Niles, Michigan. Was diagnosed in March of 2006 with stage 3 adenocarcinoma, colon cancer. We were standing in our kitchen. I had the cell phone to my ear, and Steph was a couple steps away. And the doctor was talking to me and saying, "I got your news back," and I was 100% sure that, you know, it's nothing. I mean, I don't even mind waiting for the results because I'm sure that it's nothing. I mean, there's nothing. I'm 41 years old. I'm perfectly healthy. I don't have a family history. There's nothing wrong with me. And he said, it's cancer, and it's bad.
And, my oldest immediately went and got her notebook and starts writing. She just writes and writes and writes.
She draws pictures and stuff. It was her way of getting things out. And we thought that was real healthy because she's very contemplative, and that's kind of her outlet. Our second daughter, you know, she'll sit in school and
but she's verbal, at least. She told her teachers, "My dad's got cancer." you know, she's pretty, you know, just straightforward. And my youngest doesn't really. He knows about the cancer, but he doesn't know a whole lot. And he's only 3, and he was only 2 when it was diagnosed. So he's learning. So his life really hasn't changed too drastically. We weren't allowed to take the kids to the cancer floor at Sloan Kettering because of their ages. You had to be at least 11 and above to go onto the floor.
Yeah.
And so they didn't get to see a lot of that. Now this photo album my sister-in-law made, which shows him in the hospital, my little 3-year-old looked at that and he looked it down and he said, "Oh, poor Daddy." So he got a little, you know, idea there.
Hi, I'm Dr. Lori Cardona. I'm a child and adolescent psychologist at the Yale Child Study Center, which is part of the Yale School of Medicine. I have a strong interest in pediatric oncology, and therefore I also consult to a pediatric survivorship program called the HEROES program, which is also at Yale New Haven Hospital. The tapes that I reviewed today demonstrated some wonderful family styles of coping with a diagnosis of cancer. Some of the things that the tape illustrates are the very positive ways that families and children can cope with a diagnosis of cancer. They illustrate also 4 basic principles that we review with parents in anticipation of discussions with their children. The first point or principle that we emphasize with families is that of open communication. We encourage families to have open and ongoing dialogue with their children, regardless of their age, about their diagnosis. We encourage families to use the word cancer, even though sometimes that's very difficult for families. We also encourage families to discuss openly with their children what the treatment side effects are. Sometimes children get very confused about what's an effect of cancer and what's a treatment side effect.
We just sat and told them, you know, they knew what cancer was. I had a really good friend that died with breast cancer a couple years ago. And they knew her and they knew about her cancer and that she died. And so the word cancer to them was scary at first. So we had to, you know, tell them not everybody. We actually had a cat that died of cancer too, right before his cat's brother. So cancer to them was scary because that means you die. So immediately, my oldest was kind of quiet, but my middle one said, "Does that mean Dad's going to die? Is he going to die?" So, you know, at the time, we didn't have a lot of good answers because we were in that unknowing period of testing. But we tried to stay really positive and said, "No, he's not going to die, but we're going to go through some treatments. It's going to be tough, and Dad might be sick, and he may lose his hair, and you may see a lot of, you know, things where Dad might, you know, not feel very good." And
how did you feel when this whole thing came around?
how's cancer affected
I was
you?
okay with it, just I didn't really like it when my dad had it because he had to stay with all these pumps in the hospital. And I really didn't like that, but I know he's going to be done on Christmas. When Hazel and I found out that he had cancer, we were like screaming around the house. We did not want him to like die. But very, very, very thankful to God he didn't.